Hello, everyone. My name is Minnie Flowers, and today I'm going to be talking about the Paper Menagerie. Individual identity is influenced by our upbringing, no matter what we do to deny it. In the short story, The Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu, Jack is an Asian American who denies his identity. He wants to be an American. As a result, he turns his back on his mother and his Chinese heritage. As he grows up, he continues to disrespect her. Only after dies does he come to understand how important his relationship with his mother was to him. The story illustrates a sense in which one's identity is always connected to one's ancestral heritage. In the, be- In the beginning of the story, Jack had a close relationship with his mom. They once spoke a common language. They had similar features such as almond shaped or slanted eyes, and they shared the same love of origami animals. Jack says that, at my request, Mom also made a goat, a deer, and a water buffalo out of wrapping paper. When he caught them, he would press down until the air went out of them and they became just flat, folded pieces of paper. I would then have to blow into them to reinflate them so they could run around some more. Jack was once able to breathe life into the menagerie as his mother did, suggesting that the ability connected to the culture, not just her. As Jack pushed away his culture, he forgot how to do this. Jack used misrepresentation. Jack confesses that I schemed about how to lie to the corporate recruiters most effectively so that they'd offer to buy me. Jack's mom explained in the letter she wrote to Jack about American men who wanted Asian wives. She also used misrepresentation. If I can cook, clean, and take care of my American husband, he'll give me a good life. It was it was the only hope I had. And that was how I got into the catalog with all those lies and met your father. Jack's mom is a Chinese woman who was born in Sigalu village in Hebei province in China. She comes from a very poor peasant family. Sigalu is famous for its Jeshi paper craft. Jack's mom was taught by her mother how to make paper animals and give them life. This was practical magic in the life of the village. Around 1960, the Great Famine struck China. Then came the Cultural Revolution in 1966. Neighbor turned on neighbor and brother against brother. Jack's mom's uncle had left for Hong Kong back in 1946, and he became a merchant there. In her letter, she explains that having a relative in Hong Kong meant we were spies and enemies of the people, and we had to be struggled against in every way. As a result of the revolution, Jack's mom lost her family and she became an orphan and was sold into sexual slavery. The woman met an American man who picked her out of a catalog. The man had signed up for the introduction service back in the spring of 1973. The catalog said she was 18, loved to dance, and spoke good English because she was from Hong Kong. None of these facts turned out to be true. Jack explaining that the people at the company had been writing her responses. She didn't know any English other than hello and goodbye. Jack can't understand why his mother would sell herself in this way. What kind of woman, he asks, puts herself into a catalog so that she can be bought? The American dream is a national ethos of the United States, the set of ideals democracy, rights, liberty, opportunity, and equality, which includes the opportunity for prosperity and success, as well as an upward social mobility for the family and children, achieved through hard work in a society with few barriers. In the definition of the American Dream by James Truslow Adams in 1931, Life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement, regardless of social class or circumstances of birth. The American dream is rooted in the Declaration of Independence, which proclaims that all men are created equal with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jack's mom was seeking the American dream and was actually living it. She was happy, except for a language barrier. She was living a good life in the suburbs of Connecticut, being a stay at home mom, having the freedom to live her life in America, which includes not forgetting who she is and where she come from, and continuing on with her cultural heritage, with such things as native foods, her Chinese language, and the making of origami toys, which she learned from her mom. Having Jack also made her very happy because his similarities to her made her feel like she had someone to share with. She taught Jack how to make origami toys out of wrapping paper, just like her mom had taught her. She hoped that Jack would carry on her legacy. However, when Jack attended school, he and his family experienced discrimination and racism. At school, they spoke English, and Jack's classmates' appearance was different. Jack was influenced by his classmates and his teachers. Jack's best friend, Mark, was very popular at school. One day, Mark and Jack had a fight over their toys because Mark criticized Jack's origami animals, saying, "That doesn't look like a tiger at all. Your mom makes toys for you from trash. Here's your stupid, cheap Chinese garbage." When Jack broke Mark's Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mark yelled, "This was very expensive. You can't even find it in the stores now. It probably cost more than what your dad paid for your mom." Jack was influenced by his American best friend and classmate. There was another incident which displayed discrimination and racism. Two of the women neighbors came by to welcome Jack's family into the new neighborhood. Jack's dad apologized for having to leave, and he explained that his wife doesn't speak much English. The women sat down and were conversing in the living room, not trying to be particularly quiet. "He seems like a normal enough man," they said. "Why did he do that?" "Something about the mixing never seems right. The child looks unfinished. Slanty eyes, white face, a little monster. Do you think he can speak English?" When Jack tells the woman his name, they reply, "That doesn't sound very Chinesey." Because Jack was surrounded by a racist society, discrimination, and peer pressure, this made Jack feel uncomfortable and made him deny his own identity. Jack insists, "I look nothing like her, nothing." He asks, "Do I have a chink face?" Jack wants to fit in. He wants to be accepted by his American classmates. He resents his mom because she is not American and she doesn't speak English. She has slanted eyes and she makes origami toys out of wrapping paper. Jack has no respect for his mom. Whenever Jack's mom tried to speak to him, he would continually berate her and demand that she speak English. He also refused to eat Chinese food that she cooked. He feels alienated from her. Jack's mom was very deeply hurt by the way Jack rejected her. She felt like she had lost everything she had ever loved and knew all over again. Even when his mother is on her deathbed, Jack continues to distance himself from her. My mind was not in the room. It was the middle of the on campus recruiting season, and I was focused on resumes, transcripts, and strategically constructed interview schedules. I understood intellectually that it was terrible to think about this while your mother lay dying. but that understanding didn't mean I could change how I felt. Jack was now on his own in college, and despite his mother's condition, all he could think about was getting back to California. 2 years had gone by since the passing of Jack's mom. Jack finally realizes that he can't escape his ancestral identity, and he realizes his attachment to his cultural heritage by thinking about his childhood memories. He remembers Qingming and he remembers his mom. While watching TV, his origami tiger came up to him and started playing with him. He realized that the tiger can bring a letter from his mom. In order to read his mom's letter, Jack had to speak to Chinese people, asking them to translate it for him. Jack found that letter from his mother. It told her life story and expressed how much Jack meant to her and how happy he made her by accepting her traditions. Jack shows that he accepts his ancestry and his traditions. Jack says, "Following the creases, I refolded the paper back into Lau. I cradled him in the crook of my arm as he purred. We began to walk home. The end sentence of the story indicates that Jack has overcame his resentment and accepted that his heritage is part of his identity." The moral of the story is to cherish what you have before it becomes what you had. Another moral is be you. Be who you are, not who the world wants you to be. We are who we are. And I can relate to the story. When I was 12 years old, my grandmother taught me how to braid hair. And that is a part of my identity and my culture. And I cherished my culture and embraced it. And I'm proud to be who I am. Thanks for listening.